to the hand. Okie dokie Loki Smoky. Um, I'm gonna rap first, and then we're going to review Star Wars, the Adawan movie. Adawan's this person on the message board who decided to do what George Lucas decided not to do, which is fix the crap out of the Star Wars movies. Get rid of the stupid shit and make them awesome the way they're meant to be, instead of just small updates. You know, Star Wars has become Windows in a way. Now, every couple of years it gets an update, a new Star Wars 95, Star Wars Vista, Star Wars XP. It's getting tiresome, I must say, because, you know, nobody is going to want to buy a product that constantly changes like that. I shouldn't really say that because it's not true. People will buy Star Wars no matter what kind of garbage it is, and that's really sad. But Star Wars is everything to me, man. Let me just say that, because as you can see, I'm a fan of it, and it was. I mean, right now, as an older black guy, I don't really. I mean, I'm not as overly obsessed with it as a kid, but as a kid, this was my introduction into the world of cinema and what it was capable of doing. And there's just I can explain to you the extreme depths of Star Wars and what I can, you know, what I used to believe. Now the prequels changed everything. I don't know, man. I don't like them, but you know, kids, like I said before, if you're a kid, you don't really have the greater, you know, more intelligent, critical analysis kind of thought process. So you're not going to look in depth at the films. You're just going to enjoy the basic mood and you know, plot line and the characters. You're just going to follow that and just roll with it because that's what kids do. So I ain't mad at you for liking them for that reason, but you try to hold those. It's like looking at the sequels to a lot of old great classic films and saying that the new one's better than the old one. They just don't fly. I don't care what you believe. That shit's not gonna fly with me. The original Star Wars kicks the ass of the prequels, no matter where you come from, no matter what you believe in. You know, so stop it. Stop trying to hold those things up to the old ones. Now the old ones, why is that? You know, let's go get all philosophical and look into the deeper levels of it. Why is it that the OT is better than the PT? Well, I think it's because it was there was no Star Wars before Star Wars. It was just innocence that was the real this whole exploration of new territory. This creative exploration is why Star Wars was the way it was, instead of what we have, which is with the PT, we have a bunch of movies that are not exploring new territory, except the only thing that really is actually interesting about them is seeing the details of how Anakin turned to the dark side, you know, and what life like before the original movies. Those things are interesting, and they really drive any kind of interest I have in those films. But that's it. After that, you have no characters you care about. You have a pretty lame storyline that just, you know, focuses more on the effects than the actual story. And that's really what the difference is between the old and the new. The old movies really were limited, and because of that, you had to be more creative. and you had to focus more on the characters and clever writing, and that's why it works, because there was no easy way out. They had to really work hard to create something, and so it's actually said in movie 5. There's the quick and easy path, the dark side, and then there's the light side of the force, which is hard, and but it's so much more rewarding. That's why, and it's just so unfortunate and quite ironic that this was just completely ignored as George set out to do the PT. And I don't think he cares. He's made too much money to give a shit. So whatever, right? Whatever. Anyway, let's see about this here movie. I'm gonna explain. I think what I think is so great about the first movie. I think it's the best one. 2 and 3 are not 2 and 3, but 5 and 6 as it's called now. Those are good, great films, and 5 especially because it actually tries to be an actual work of art rather than a sequel with with just made for money. It's actually a pretty hefty artistic effort put forward in that movie, and that's why I like it. So here we go. Gotta skip to the parts that I think are best. Make sure you mark. Oh, the part with the sunset. That's the part that is why this movie kicks the PT's ass. Lucas had no CGI. He had no fucking hope of creating any video game looking things, and yet something within him brought us to this moment in cinema that is forever cemented in a lot of people's minds for the right reasons. It's about it's a key part of the story, and it's told visually just like cinema is supposed to do, and it's subtlety. There's no dialogue. It's just a young man looking out into the horizon. That's it. What every boy is going to go through in his life captured on film. Look at that. So, I'm watching this movie, and what I was caught by was just the craftsmanship. That was the first thing. I didn't care about the storyline or the writing and none of that. I was just watching shit to watch it. But then I'm watching this thing, and I've never seen it before. I've never seen a movie that utilizes music and visuals to the extent that this one did. The music was brilliant, and then I'm watching the actual movie, and the imagery is brilliant. And I'm watching the SC though. This is the SC I'm talking about. I didn't get into Star Wars until '97 or '98, whatever. So I'm one of those guys. But I understand that there is something more to this movie than what a lot of people recognize in movies. That's what made Star Wars special before, Lucas said, nah, screw it. So this isn't the most action oriented moment. Let's look at this scene. I like this though. When you a kid, you watching this, you wondering what the hell is she doing? She putting something in there and making some kind of. So you use your imagination and you come up with all sorts of reasons for that thing, whatever it is. What is it? That's what movies are about. Lucas would tell you, oh, this thing is a moisturizer boiler food Omatic 5000, and give you all these schematics on it, and then it would have no point in the movie. It's just there. He just gives you the details. He midichlorianizes it. Fuck you, Lucas. Harry Knowles, big fat Harry Knowles, says that I don't know what the hell. I just read it one day that he says that there's going to be a 7, 8, and 9, just like they made Indy 4, which is both very exciting and terrifying, I must say. Oh boy, that would be fun. I know that since we're crazy like that, they're probably gonna make it, but it's gonna be garbage. No way they could capture just the lightning in the bottle that this movie was. Look at this. There's nothing but talking in this scene, and yet it's most iconic because of the lines said, not because of the action, CGI. It's just good acting, good writing. I don't think a kid today could sit through this movie. They're gonna be like, "What the fuck is this shit? This is too much talking." ADD motherfucker. This is what we rolled with back in the day, son. That was done today, he would have had him flip over the table, wiggle his ass. So this is what Star Wars is all about to me. It's these little quiet scenes and moments between characters. That's it. It's not about the lightsabers. Those are fun, but to me, just being able to tell this little story between people in a world that is very different from our own is far more interesting. It's always about the characters. That's why I don't like Star Trek. Star Trek's about the technology and the concepts and the philosophy and this whole questioning man's place in the universe kind of thing. It's true sci-fi, I suppose, but Star Wars is fantasy. It's a I think a fairy tale story. Or what do you call them? Those tall tales. You know, that's what it is. Not about trying to say anything deep. It's about telling a grandiose story about gods and men. And that's where it most impacted me, was this belief that there is not just people in this world, there's a power beyond us. And that's what George Lucas said he wanted to accomplish with this movie, was create a good message to children that there is something bigger than us out there. And I believe that this movie, it did the trick, definitely. When you go online and you try to talk that kind of thing to people, they get antsy about it. Why is it that this movie is so beloved by so many people? Because I think it sends this hopeful message that no, man's not alone. Look at this shit. Goes down to the floor and then it rises up behind the guy. Directing on a budget, people. But it's cool like that. It's nice. That's what you have to do when you don't have the budget to have a camera swinging around the room all over the damn place. You create something that is within the limitations that you have.